This episode is brought to you by Heyday. Feeling stressed? Take a moment for yourself with Heyday. Stroll through rows of golden wheat, tend to cute barnyard animals, and discover the joys of a digital farm retreat. You don't have to hop in a car or catch a plane. Escape to the farm at the tap of a finger. With Heyday, you're not just tending to a farm, you're tending to yourself. Heyday. Search Heyday, that's Hay space DAY, in your favorite app store. Heyday is a free-to-play mobile game and offers optional in-app purchases and random rewards.
At GMC, ignorance is the furthest thing from bliss. Bliss is research, testing the testing, until it results in not just one truck, but a whole lineup. The 2025 GMC Sierra lineup, featuring the Sierra 1500 Heavy Duty and EV. Because true bliss is removing every shadow from every doubt. We are professional grade. Visit GMC.com to learn more.
This is Optimal Work Daily. How to plow through work and still produce quality by Tynan of Tynan.com. 2 years ago, Cruise Sheet didn't have individual information pages for each cruise. Cruises are large purchases though, so I thought that it would be much better if I could have a lot of written information, graphs, and pictures. With around 12,000 cruises on offer at any time, the selection changing every day, writing them individually would be impossible. What would it take to automatically generate an actually useful page for every single cruise? It would be a gargantuan task. While much of our days are filled with small tasks, emails, course corrections, and tweaks, these sorts of activities merely keep us on track or trend us towards progress. To move forward in big steps, we must give ourselves huge tasks and power through them. How do you do that, feel good about it, and still produce top quality? There would be no way to incrementally get this feature built. It would require a massive multidisciplinary overhaul involving weeks of work and a lot of learning. And quality mattered a lot. If the pages were too similar, Google would ding me and people wouldn't want to read them. Each page needed to share a ton of useful information and present it in an inviting way. When I first approach a task like this, I revel in the possibility of the outcome. I imagined looking at a full sales page for each cruise and how much better that experience would be. I got excited. I think about these sorts of projects as gifts I can give myself. I literally think of it as me disappearing from the world for a few weeks, my normal life upended, and when I emerge, I get to go back to normal life, but I have this huge gift for myself. Is it worth massive sacrifice for just 3 weeks in order to have 12,000 beautiful cruise pages? The answer was obvious to me. After getting motivated and excited, I think about the practical process. How much time should it take to do something like this? I conveniently had a 24-day cruise coming up, so I decided that I would do it in 3 weeks. Working without a deadline is disheartening. Tasks seem like they can go on forever. Can I get into the weeds of making price graphs forever? I don't really know. Can I get through 3 weeks of it? Sure. I set a realistic deadline, but also had some flexibility. I knew that if I hadn't made enough progress halfway through, I could reduce leisure time and increase work time. Once you know your deadline, you must totally clear everything from that time. That's why I love working on cruises. What if you can't clear your schedule? Then, sorry, you can't do this process. Big progress forward often includes some sacrifices, so be willing to make them. Rent an Airbnb in the middle of nowhere and go drive there with some groceries. Take a cruise. Turn off your phone for a few weeks during the day and don't leave your house. With a nice big block of time cleared and a concrete deadline, I work backwards. What are some intermediate waypoints I should have? Well, if I can't get a rough outline of what the page should look like done in one day, I'm not working efficiently enough to complete it at all, so that's one deadline. The copy part of it should be done within 1 week. Graphs can take another week total. Integrating it all should be done a few days before the deadline. Then I attack my work like a banshee. I know why I'm doing it, I know what I have to do, and I have the time available. I equate every little task with the benefits of completing the whole thing because I know that if I just keep at it, the rewards will be mine. I never consider slacking or about missing a day or anything like that. The benefit of the big end goal is too great. Quality doesn't suffer because I convince myself that there's no point in doing these things unless it produces high-quality work. I also plan ahead, so I know that it's possible to produce high quality within the time I've given myself. So I don't just make arbitrary goals like writing a book in a day, where quality would have to be poor. And I always focus on the end goal, which is always a high quality result. Sloshing together a bunch of cruft isn't inspiring. At the same time, having deadlines prevents me from being a perfectionist. I gave myself a certain number of days to totally replace the floors in my house. By the end, I was becoming a little less perfectionist about making the board patterns totally random. Nothing anyone else would notice, but if a board ended where one ended 5 rows ago, fine. The real magic happens once you do this once. You realize that you are capable of making a huge leap forward in a fixed slot of time. I've written the rough draft of all my recent books in a fixed 2 weeks. I finished revising my most recent one in a cordoned-off 28 hours. In the 24 days I blocked off for the cruise sheet cruise pages, I fully completed the task and have barely needed to tweak it since then. Now this ability feels like a superpower. Anytime I have a large, concrete task I need to smash, I'm certain that I can do it. It will take a little bit of planning and a certain amount of gritting my teeth, but I know that at the end, I will have produced a huge amount of high-quality work in a way that was hard work, but didn't leave me drained. You just listened to the post titled, How to Plow Through Work and Still Produce Quality by Tynan of Tynan.com.
You may get a little excited when you shop at Burlington.
What a low price! Do you see that? They have my favorite brand! It's like a whole new Burlington! I can buy 2!
I'm saving so much!
Burlington saves you up to 60% off other retailers' prices every day. Will it be the low prices or the great brands? Burlington. Deals? Brands? Wow! I told you so. Styles and selections vary by store.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase of 16 weeks, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
And thank you to Tynan, who is an author, a coach, and a speaker who uses his unique set of experiences and skills to help people build habits and systems to reach their goals. And when I say unique, I really mean unique. He sold everything he owned to go on an extended world trip, started a cruise agency, and lived in an RV for 10 years. His blog has a wide range of topics and stories, so that's definitely worth checking out. And as you can imagine, he likes to learn new things, build habits, explore the world, connect with awesome people, and create good work. His books are bestsellers on Amazon, and he was even named a top blogger by Time magazine in 2013. You can check out his work and experiences at Tynan.com. That's Tynan.com, and I have that linked in this episode's description. But that is it for today. I thank you so much for listening, being with me each and every day, and that is, of course, how we can keep this show going for you. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back again tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.